How's it going, everyone? It's Avi from Weather Sponge 5000, and in this video, we're going to take a look at this next storm system moving through the United States and determine if we could potentially see a major winter storm impact the Midwest and potentially even in areas further eastward into the Northeast. So first, let's take a look at what the European model is stating at this time, and based on what the conditions are right now, we do see that there's a decent jet stream dip right over the Northeast and the northern Midwest at this time, and it's bringing cooler than average temperatures for the most part. There is a decent northerly flow that's bringing the Arctic air further southward, and it's rather dry for much of the United States outside of the Pacific Northwest, where now we have a trough that's moving ashore that's going to bring heavy rainfall, heavy snowfall in the higher elevations, and this could become our next trigger for our next major winter storm for the United States. So continuing to move forward with the forecast, we do see there will be a small clipper system moving through the Ohio River Valley, which will bring some isolated areas of snow showers as well as rain showers, but it won't be much to worry about. We clearly see that there isn't a lot of instability for this storm system to work with, so there won't be a high amount of convective activity. The precipitation rate will be very minuscule, so we likely won't see much of any accumulation from this clipper system as it continues to head further eastward, and we do see it does strengthen once it's off the coast. However, the thing that's going to prevent this from being able to bring snowfall to the Northeast is the fact that there isn't really a ridge just to the east of it that would be able to steer this up the Northeast coast and enhance the instability for a major, potentially major Northeast snowstorm to develop out of this low pressure system. So while there is a decent amount of instability for the convective activity to enhance around the center circulation, there really isn't a strong ridge that would steer it up the coast and bring a heavy amount of rainfall or any sort of precipitation right up along the Northeast coast. So as a result, this won't be much of any threat to worry about in the Northeast. However, taking a look at this trough coming off the Pacific Northwest, continuing to move forward with the forecast, we're eventually going to see a low pressure system move into the northern Midwest, and this should bring a decent amount of snow showers right over northern North Dakota as well as portions of Minnesota. We do see a decent amount of snowfall, and the pressure is actually quite low for a regular clipper system. Its millibar pressure is hovering around 989 millibars, which is pretty powerful for what compared to what we typically see with a clipper system, and this is due to the fact that there's a strong ridge right over the eastern half of the United States, and we're just seeing a high amount of instability right over the northern Midwest, a high amount of convective potential energy that's forcing a lot of the humid air mass further upwards once it interacts with a cooler, more dense air mass, and that's allowing a lot more lift to occur around the center circulation and a lot more convective activity, as you clearly see right here. So right around the Friday time frame, you should expect anywhere between 1 to 3 to 3 to 5 inches of snowfall in northern Dakota and in northern Minnesota, so you definitely need to pay close attention to that. There still could be changes with the forecast. The amount of instability will play a big role, as well as the exact position of the jet stream, because there could be that possibility that maybe this low moves a little bit further northward, or maybe it moves a little bit further southward to where the areas further southward experience more snowfall. Really all depends on the position of this ridge, and I'll keep you guys updated once we get a more certain forecast. However, what I could say for certain is that North Dakota and Minnesota will at least experience some sort of precipitation right around the Friday timeframe, whether it's in the form of rainfall or in the form of snowfall. You should at the very least expect some sort of precipitation from this low, as it does seem like we're going to see any at least significant shifts with the forecast, where this could move like so far to the north where it doesn't impact you guys. It's very likely going to impact you guys, so definitely be prepared for that possibility of a small clipper system moving through around Friday. However, the main focus of this video will be right after this clipper system, where continuing to move forward with the forecast, we do see that this clipper system will help contribute to developing the next potential major Midwest snow snowstorm, because what it will do is that it'll enhance the northerly flow on the western side of this storm system, which will bring the cooler air further southward and, of course, enhance the instability right over the central portion of the United States for the snowfall area to expand, as well as the area of thunder shower activity further southward. And the instability could be quite powerful in the Midwest, where the European model wants to rapidly intensify this storm system. We do see the millibar pressure drops down to around 1,005 millibars, but look at this area of precipitation. This extends as far south as Louisiana, as far north as the interior northeast. So already we're seeing the effects of this highly unstable environment, as the European model expects quite a bit of cold air to be just behind this storm system, and it won't help that there's going to be a strong ridge just so west of it that's only going to enhance the northerly flow and the cool air to move further southward, and that's going to enhance the convective activity. And we see a very comma shaped look with this storm system, which is very typical of what you'd see during with a powerful mid-latitude cyclone. This is just your textbook, very powerful comma-shaped mid-latitude cyclone that's very powerful, that's very efficient when it comes to producing a high amount of lift and convective activity, because we have the cool air interacting with a very warm air mass that's not only just to the east of it, but to the north of it as well, which creates a rapid amount of intensification around the center circulation. So, of course, not only snow would be the issue with this storm system with a millibar pressure this low, you also have to deal with a strong amount of wind. Look at the isobars. They're very tightly packed, which represents that the winds will likely be very strong with this storm system, with this cool air interacting with this very lightly dense warm air that's being forced upwards by the strong winds, and it pretty much creates this endless cycle of intensification. We have the cool air mass from Canada moving southward, trying to move into the warmer, lightly dense air mass, and as it does so, it creates a high amount of lift for the convective activity to be enhanced. And we also see that the temperatures will continue to stay warm just to the east, so there's going to be an endless supply of warm air and endless supply of cold air, and that's just going to create an endless cycle where the wind speed will increase, which will only enhance the amount of convection, rotation, and lift overall. And we see that this storm becomes quite powerful, dropping down to the 970s by the time this approaches the northeast. And we do see, of course, the snowfall is very heavy on the northwestern side of this storm, and we could see snow even impact portions of Arkansas, extending into Missouri. St. Louis definitely needs to pay close attention to this. Chicago, Detroit possibly, especially on the backside of this storm system, and even Indianapolis could get involved with very heavy snowfall. Now, there's still a pretty high amount of uncertainty with the forecast. We are going around 6-7 days out, so there's still time for the trajectory to change, especially since the GFS model is taking a scenario that's slightly different compared to what the European model is stating. The GFS model wants to take the snow a little bit further northward, while the European model is leaning towards a track that's a little bit further southeastward. So we're definitely going to need to pay close attention to the exact details regarding the trajectory as well as the strength, because the European model does want to intensify this faster than the GFS model. And even for the northeast, look at the amount of heavy rain you'd have to deal with right up along the eastern half. So for those in the northeast probably wondering if there's a possibility the snow will move further eastward to potentially impact the northeast, I'll say it's fairly unlikely. Even though the forecast is still around 6-7 days out, I find it difficult to see the computer model shifting our forecast so much at this point, to the point where they expect the ridge to be weak enough for the snow and the cold to be able to move to the northeast. I'll say a more plausible scenario would be maybe the snow impacts the extreme interior portions of the Northeast, maybe the northwestern portions of upstate New York. However, for that snow to move all the way to the coast, I find it to be highly unlikely because both of the computer models, even 7 days out, do agree that there should be a ridge that's strong enough that's going to be able to steer this storm northward and create a strong southerly flow to prevent the snow and the cold from being able to entrain the Northeast. So most likely the snowfall will be focused right over somewhere over the Midwest, and I do believe that at least some place in the Midwest will experience a significant amount of snow from this. The exact question remains where exactly. If we were to take a look at the height anomaly over the next few days, the 500 millibar height anomaly, you're going to see exactly why the forecast is uncertain. So taking a look at that, we do see that this low pressure system will dip down and there's going to be plenty of cold air behind it. And as it dips down quite a bit further southward to really tap in to that very warm and moist environment right over the Gulf of Mexico. But moving forward with the forecast, we see that the big thing that will determine the trajectory is how strong this ridge is and how far west this ridge is. The further westward it is and the stronger it is, the more likely this storm would steer further northward a lot more quickly. So the areas further north and west would experience a heavier snowfall. So there could still be that possibility that Chicago might just experience a rain event out of this. Same goes for St. Louis if this were to take a track further west, northwestward. However, if we see this ridge weaker and this ridge a little bit move a little bit further eastward, then that will allow this storm system to move further eastward as well, and that would bring the heaviest snowfall, of course, further eastward to where maybe areas like Detroit would experience more snowfall, Indianapolis, and who knows, there's still that possibility that snowfall could impact Cleveland, Ohio, if we were to see a track far east enough for the cold air to be able to entrain Cleveland. So we're definitely going to pay close attention to this over the next few days. Taking a look at what the GFS model is forecasting when it comes to the trajectory of the storm system. The GFS model is forecasting us a scenario that's very similar to what what the European model is stating, where we do see this low pressure system will move into the midsection of the country. Doesn't move as far south. There isn't as much cold air or instability, so this storm is weaker in the GFS model scenario. However, the key difference is that the ridge is a bit stronger and a little bit further eastward in the GFS model scenario. So the snowfall is focused in just slightly further north and westward compared to what the European model is stating. In this scenario, Chicago would experience more of a rain event. So the exact details regarding the position of this ridge will play a big role. Let me show you guys the precipitation forecast from the GFS model to get a better idea of where exactly that rain snow line will be located in the GFS model scenario. So we do see, like I said, the storm is far weaker in this scenario, where at this point the European model would be forecasting a storm system that's well into the 980s. In the GFS model scenario, it's more so around the 99. Oh wait, let me go to the 18Z run. This is the latest run of the GFS model. I do apologize for that. So in the latest run, the GFS model is still a bit stronger, but it's definitely not as strong as a European model, and we see that the snowfall is still further northwestward, just northwest of Chicago. So Chicago would be close to the rain snow line, but would primarily experience a rain event with this ridge further westward than what the European model is stating. So we're definitely going to pay close attention to this. I will say that a Midwest snowstorm of some sort is likely at this point, with both the most reliable computer models agreeing on that, and there could still be that possibility this could impact areas a lot further westward like Kansas, Omaha, Des Moines still could get impacted. I'll definitely keep you guys updated once certainty rises with this storm system. So definitely stay tuned for more updates over the next few days. Now, in terms of the snowfall forecast between these two computer models, so if we were to take a look at what the GFS model is forecasting when it comes to this storm system, the GFS model does expect quite a significant snowstorm. And so this is definitely something you want to keep a close eye on, because this could definitely bring over 6 inches of snow over a large area of the Midwest. This includes Milwaukee. Chicago is right in between, experiencing maybe 3 to 6 inches of snowfall, or potentially just a little bit more than that in the suburbs that are a little bit further northward. And we see that Michigan in this scenario would experience over a foot of snow, and even areas further westward into Iowa, into northern Missouri, and portions of Kansas, you could experience anywhere between 1 to 3 to 3 to 6 inches of snow. So you definitely want to pay very close attention to this. And then when it comes to the European model, what it's forecasting when it comes to snowfall, the European model expects snowfall to be a lot more concentrated and a lot further southeastward, where we see the snowfall is very heavy, but it's over a much more narrow area, and it's focused more in a little bit further southeastward, where more so the central portion of Michigan experiences the heaviest snowfall, where right around Lansing, Michigan, you could experience over a foot of snow. This includes northern Indiana as well. Indianapolis could experience up to 6 inches of snow. Chicago, again, is right in between experiencing no snow at all to potentially 3 to 6 inches of snow, which would be still could be a pretty concerning snowstorm for you guys. And then extending into southern Illinois, you could experience 6 to 12. Same goes for southern Missouri and northern Arkansas as well. Even extending into Little Rock could experience over 6 inches of snow. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated once certainty rises. But definitely be prepared for that potential of a major snowstorm in the near future for the Midwest going into this weekend. And by the way, this would happen right around the Sunday to early Monday timeframe for much of the Midwest. So if you want to plan long term for this potential snowstorm, those would be the days you definitely want to consider over the next several days when it comes to this forecast. Now, let's take a look at the more long-term future. So I know many of you guys, maybe in the Northeast, the Southeast, or even the Southwest, are hoping for some snowfall in the near future. And if we were to take a look at what the European model is forecasting beyond this storm system, there could be a small Clipper system just behind it that moves on the backside. The European model is currently expecting it to be weak. We're going to need to see if that still remains valid, because it is still fairly far out. So I'll keep you guys updated if we do see any major changes with this Clipper system, but could bring an enhanced amount of snowfall right over the Great Lakes region where you're most exposed to lake effect. So, and then we do see that there could be a small upper level low moving in by the time we approach Thursday, December 14th, right in the midsection of the country. So, and of course, beyond this point, we can't, the European model can't really forecast that, but Kansas definitely at least be aware of this. We're going to need to see if this holds up. That is very far out in the future, but definitely stay tuned over the next few days. In terms of what the GFS model is showing, the GFS model isn't very confident in bringing much snowfall to the populated areas of the Northeast, and mainly brings most of the snowfall right over the Midwest. So after this storm system, there could be, like I said, there is that small Clipper system you might need to worry about in the Midwest. This could impact the Great Lakes region with a heavier amount of snowfall than what the European model is forecasting. So we'll keep tabs on that. But over the next few days, it seems like there's just going to be a strong amount of ridging for much of the United States. So even heading into mid-December, it's not looking good for the areas further southward when it comes to snowfall. It just seems like there's going to be a little bit too much ridging. But I'll keep you guys updated if we're going to see any significant changes with that forecast. So definitely keep that in mind. I'm definitely hoping for snowfall here in northern New Jersey as much as you guys. So I'll make sure to be spontaneous if we do see anything arise from the computer models. But as of right now, seems like the ridging is just a bit too much. Hopefully that does change, at least for me here in the Northeast. But still, just a lot of ridging. So it doesn't look very good when it comes to snowfall. But again, I'll keep you guys updated if we do see any major changes. But that's it for now, guys, and I thank you guys for watching.